Hey, what's up, everyone? Today is December the 10th, 2018, and we are doing our daily recap here from SellThatOption.com. All right, so we took three trades off EEM, IYR, and FXI. We took two off from December expiration, which is just getting ready to come up. Both of these were inverted trades. I sent out a pretty lengthy message in the email just in regards to the fact that both of these did come off profitable, right? So originally we had a 78 straddle, got about $4 in credit, added or changed the put from 78 up to 80 and a half, got an additional 50 cents or so in credit. We had a total credit here in IYR of 477, which means we got 50 cents per spread onto, and we profited about $100 in this IYR trade. FXI for January was not a ladder trade. This was just a typical. We got in at about 315 or so, maybe 330. 25% went off, and this was just a good till canceled order. We got off right at the end of the day there. 349 is when this trade went off for us, as we start to take already taking some stuff off from our January portfolio, which is really, really nice. EEM was one, as you all might remember, we traded a ton of different EEM strikes as it was particularly volatile during the December expiration period. And so this was the only one, though, that we had to ladder out of. And so you can see here that we're only $1.50 off. And so we maybe could have kept that going down to try to get closer to $1.50, which is the width of the inversion here. But we decided just to go ahead and take that off because we did have an overall profit for the month on EEM. Now, we built out two positions for January. We had UNG, which we got massive credits in UNG, right? So 36, we got $8.05 worth of credit, which is crazy. Right, so the security can basically move 20% in either way for our break evens, and we'll show that here in our Analyze tab here in just a second. UNG's IV percentile was 71, and so it was indeed elevated, which is why we decided to get into UNG here. UNG is nat gas. You might remember that it was the natural gas. Not the ETF, but the actual commodity that James, forget his names, Cordier from OptionSellers.com blew up his quote-unquote hedge fund. It wasn't actually a hedge fund, but it was natural gas. We are selling one, as you can see here, sold one straddle here. And so very, very small position compared to the overall portfolio. And so, very, very small. And then XHB, 34 straddle here. It has an IV percentile of 77. And so also elevated here. We took in 246 in credit. Let's get to our Analyze tab with both of these. Okay, here we are at XHB, our expiration date. We have a 51% probability of profit. We know that early managing is going to lead that to be a little bit higher, and I believe we already have an XHB. Yeah, so here we go. We already have our XHB trying to work for us here at 184. So we're going to try to take this position off at 184. Okay, for this position, we'll look to add, I actually just did my first monthly recap where I go over the month expiration. And one of the things that you will have heard is that I traded EWZ pretty poorly because I was too aggressive in laddering in. And so I'm not going to ladder in until we get to 36 or we get to 32. Otherwise, I'll just let it continue to move back and forth. But you can go ahead and set an alert, right? Set an alert for 32, set an alert for 36, and if you do that, and that hits, I'm going to be adding there. Okay, now let's get into UNG. We have a lot in UNG right now, but I did just go ahead and take off all of the others. So here we are, nicely centered over UNG at 36. It's actually trading for about 36.50 now. You don't see our little red ticks here. We don't see that tick on our blue line because our break even is all the way out here. So this is going to be another one of those, right? I have no reason to add probably till we get to 42. It's probably going to be when I'm going to start looking, maybe even 43, right? I just have no reason to add until we get to 43 or until we get to 29. And so I'm just going to let this security move back and forth between these strikes until then, but really, really wide break even. I mean, massively wide break even. We do know that IV is incredibly elevated here. We rarely see these kinds of moves in UNG, and so the market's still pricing in from that 20% in a day that we saw. But even if the market, and I want to belabor this point just a little, even if the market were to move 20% in either direction, we would just then be hitting our break evens, because 360, so we go up to 39.60, and then you add another 42 right at 44.20, right? Which is just beyond our break even if I did the math right in my head real quick, right? 720, actually 43.20, so we can move 20%, which bankrupted another individual and their quote unquote hedge fund that wasn't really a hedge fund. That move could bankrupted that individual, right? And we would still be within our break evens, right? And that's the beauty of taking in these large credits is we just stay centered, right? And we put our goods a canceled order in, which I think that we already have done. Yeah, right here. So we're going to try to get $6 out of it, right? And so make 200 on this trade and then just move on, put the capital and put the money elsewhere. That's the name of the game, right? And you can absolutely see it. This is a great example of that. My dog just came in to the office, so you probably just heard his ears flapping. All right, well, that's it. That's why we decided to get into these trades today. And so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at Ryan, R-Y-A-N, at SellThatOption. Otherwise, feel really good about both positions that we just added on. And let's continue to kind of finish out December and move forward into January as we look to continue to build out that portfolio. All right, y'all have a great week. Awesome. So what you just saw was an example of a video that I send every single evening that I make an opening trade, a closing trade, or an adjusting trade to the members here at SellThatOption.com. I sincerely believe that when it comes to the stock market, right, there's so much misinformation out there that you have to have somebody, at least at the start, teaching you and guiding you and really getting you the behind the scenes information and really into the mindset of somebody that's figured it out and is successful. And so not only do I send a ton of educational content, I mean, I have these courses right here. I send the daily recap videos. I send the weekly strategy videos. I've got general knowledge base. I've got Udemy courses, right? But I want you to, when I'm able to talk about, right, the trades that I make and why I was making the trades that I was making, that is true education, right? That is education that it's not just me sending out what I'm doing and expecting you all to blindly follow that, right? That's literally the opposite of what I want to do, right? That's not what this is about. This is about true education. It's about truly teaching and saying, hey, this is what I was thinking. This is what I was seeing. And I sincerely believe that that's one of the most effective ways to really learn how to do this. Now, what I'd like for you to know is that first, visit my site. Go here to Stock Trading Services. If you'd like to join, right, use discount code YouTube, all lowercase, YouTube, and that's going to get you 50% off all of my services, okay? So, again, discount code YouTube for any of these potential stock trading services. So you're going to get my lifetime membership, 50% off, right? Yearly, quarterly, monthly, 50% off with the code YouTube. Follow me on social media via either on YouTube or in Twitter or on my Facebook or on my Instagram. Follow me on my social media platforms that you can see right up here in the corners. Okay, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I'll add Instagram on there. But again, discount code 50% off YouTube. All right, if y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at Ryan, RYAN, at SellThatOption.com. Again, 50% off code is YouTube, all lowercase. And if you have any questions at all, reach out to me. Otherwise, stay humble, stay hungry, and here's to our success.